How to get over a fear of hell. So, this is definitely a big one for a lot of people coming out of a religious belief, especially because oftentimes it's really pounded into people's heads from a young age. Even my upbringing, which wasn't particularly strict or fundamental, talked a good bit about hell and some of the consequences that exist there for people. And really, when you think about it, I mean, the stories are terrifying. Have you ever heard some of the torments that are described for non-believers in the Quran? Or what about some of the ancient Hindu texts? Maybe the Bible? Now, probably for each and every one of us out there, one of those concepts didn't really hit us hard. We didn't have that same visceral gut reaction that we do for one of those other concepts. Why is that? Why do these other concepts of hell not give us that same pause, that same difficulty? Well, probably it's because we were raised in a system that taught us about specific versions of hell, specific aspects of torture and punishment that await us. And we never really developed any of those other concerns or fears about those other places at an early age. A- Actually, this is something that's pretty common for a lot of people. I A buddy of mine I knew growing up had a really bad experience with a goat when he was 5, and now he hates being around goats. He really can't stand even looking at a picture, but he has no problem being 50 feet away from a black bear in the woods. Now, I think that's a bit reckless for sure and a little silly of an example, but the point that I'm getting at is oftentimes we don't fear the other versions of hell because we haven't thought about them as much. And so we dismiss them easier. We're quicker to say that these other versions of hell aren't really real, right? And if they're not real to begin with, who cares about all these stories? They're just made up. That's all well and good, but sometimes that fear still remains. What I recognized was I was in the boat of saying, this God is fake, and this happy fun time place is fake. And hey, maybe this torture place is fake too. If you're in that boat and you just haven't gotten to that last little piece, that's okay because you've made a lot of progress. And I know that just because you don't believe in a deity of some kind or heaven doesn't mean that you instantly drop the belief in hell. But ask yourself the same question that you asked yourself about that God. Ask yourself the same question that you asked about your spirit or ghosts. What is really the best evidence for its existence in the first place? And if you ask yourself that and you come to a similar place that I have, you'll recognize that there isn't any good evidence. And so we shouldn't even believe in it to begin with. Because if we adopt that system, well, we have to spend all of our time being worried about Bigfoot and ghosts or alien encounters or the bad actions of our past lives or homeopathic remedies and crystals and it's just too much, too quick. There's all these other things out there that could possibly have these horrible consequences, just like hell. But we don't have any good reason to believe that they're real to begin with. We don't have any good evidence to demonstrate that existence. And so we shouldn't accept it as true. If we don't accept it as true, I find the fear starts to fade away. Like when I was a kid and I stopped believing that there was a monster under my bed. From then on, I wasn't afraid to get out of bed at night. I wasn't afraid to look under my bed. I mean, sure, sometimes there was a spider, but not a monster. It's okay that you still struggle with this belief. A lot of us have. And if you're in that place, please know that you don't have to be there alone. There are a lot of really wonderful organizations and communities out there, like this one and Recovering from Religion, that can absolutely help with these problems. But remember, you got past the other part of the fairy tale. And you can absolutely get past this part too and be happier and healthier when you do.